Welcome to kathysright.com, your pit stop for the conservative mind, heart, and soul. I'm Kathy. Kamala Harris finally made it south of the border, not quite to the border. That's not a photo op she wants. Can you imagine a picture of Kamala in one of her suits standing there near all these poor people being smuggled with their smugglers, and sometimes the smugglers are actually holding their hands. Do you realize these smugglers, they're getting $500 to $600 per person? Like when you see them on the boat and there's that guy in the front of the boat coming across the river and he's feverishly paddling the sides of the boat to make the boat get across. He's getting paid per head. He's a smuggler for the cartel. The more people he can get in that boat across that river, the more money he makes basically per hour. He's getting rich smuggling. It's a very lucrative business. When the smugglers are asked by reporters if they are afraid of the Border Patrol or authorities of any kind, they say no. Because, frankly, they've made it almost illegal to arrest them. Imagine that. It's illegal to arrest someone who is committing a crime against our nation. How did that happen? How did we get here? And why don't they care? Biden, he makes nice words. He puts nice words together. Sometimes he fumbles them. Kamala, she went down there and actually said, "Oh, don't come." I'm trying to do my best Kamala accent. If you were thinking of coming and making that harrowing trip to America, don't come. Yeah, right. My guess is, and this is a guess, but I don't think I'm off. I don't think I'm off by much, is they actually want all of these illegals coming over at the time. They don't care that babies are being raped. They don't care that women are being raped. They don't think anything of the indentured servitude of the people who will owe those cartels thousands and thousands of dollars, and they'll probably never pay it off. And their families are threatened if they don't. Do you think they care? I'm not seeing that. No, that's why she won't go to the border. Because if you acknowledge a problem, you have to do something about it. But all of these things, these horrendous things, are happening to human beings. The Democrats are just acting like it's no big deal. In fact, on our local news here in Austin, on one of the news programs, they were doing a report about Kamala's visit to Guatemala. They neglected to talk about the picketers, how they said don't come, basically, because they know all she wants to do is cut a check, as though that was going to solve their problems. If that were the case, it would have solved their problems all the years that they were getting money from the United States before Trump was elected. But it doesn't solve the problem. That's all Democrats do, is throw money at the problem, and there, we did something. Our money they're throwing at them, which is basically a bribe, because Guatemala is such a corrupt country. Now, governmental officials will pocket all that money. It won't get to the people. It won't help their infrastructure. Not at all. And they all know that. The problem is, they know it. The news media knows it. We all know it, but nobody will just say it. Just say it. It's the truth. They're flying these illegals to places like Tennessee, Virginia. They don't have to fly them to Texas because they walk right over, but they're taking them to red states, red areas, in order to change the demographics of how we vote. Talk about gerrymandering, huh? This is a whole new form of gerrymandering. Got to give it to the Democrats. When they cheat big. By latest estimates, the cartels are making $25 million per week in human smuggling and trafficking combined. And that is just at our southern borders. Wow. I thought they cared about kids in cages. Remember? For 4 years, we heard nothing from the Democrats about the border except for kids in cages. And of course, our retort was, well, we didn't build the cages. Obama, I almost said Biden, Obama built the cages. So all of that worry about humanity, this is a humanitarian crisis, was baloney or malarkey. It was all bogus. They didn't give a flip about these children. They didn't give a flip about those human beings. They want it what they want it when they want it. They're like toddlers. But they're very effective toddlers. They're effectively destroying our country. They're effectively destroying our culture. They're effectively demoralizing our children. They're effectively making a mockery of our civil rights history. Indeed, our very rights from the Constitution. What is truly maddening is the simple fact that most black people don't even mind. Everything that was worked for, everything that was marched for peacefully, the real peaceful marchers back in the 60s, everything that was fought for is about to be thrown away for the sake of Marxism and communism. Make no mistake, that's where they're going with this. You think critical race theory isn't a part of it? Critical race theory, the reason that's spreading, it's not because it's so popular or even true. It's a theory. It's a conspiracy theory. Critical race theory is the biggest conspiracy theory there's going on. Really. Teaching people to hate each other all over again and hate themselves. They don't have to destroy this country with wars and bullets. Well, we're doing that in Chicago. But all they have to do is screw with our minds. And then they are destroying this country from within with critical race theory. Teaching children, young people, that a person is inherently racist based on the pigment of their skin, based on the fact that they were born Caucasian, and that black people are inherently oppressed based on history, not today, history. Not how we behave today. As in, yeah, black on black crime is a real thing. So is white on white crime, by the way. I mean, if you think about it, most people kill someone they know. Not everybody's a drive-by shooting. I'm just saying. These are the most dangerous times because they're messing with our minds. They're messing with our minds. What with censoring and cancel culture? They're messing with our minds, and they know it, and they're doing it anyway, and they don't care. How do news people night after night get on there and talk about Joe Biden as though he's doing a terrific job when we can see the walls crumbling down all around us? Our school walls, our government walls, our Supreme Court walls. I mean, they literally burned down police precinct buildings this last summer. Burned them down. They burned down a few churches too. Our foundation in this country is being burned down. We cannot allow it to happen. We simply cannot. And we will not. Our government is bloated. Our senators and congressmen are incapable of accomplishing anything of value. Most, I think, in Washington and in state governments are corrupt. What can a Judeo-Christian country do? What must we do? Well, the first thing we know to do is to pray. And pray hard, and pray every day, all day if you can, unceasingly. We have too much to lose. Our children and our children's children have too much to lose. In order to have hope for tomorrow. We have to see some glittering signs today of people fighting back in a capable way. I saw something of hope from Italy. There were men and women, mostly men, marching down the street, yelling in unison, "We want Antifa to leave." You do realize Antifa is worldwide as well. That's why when Behar says something stupid like it's just an idea, we know different. We know differently. So, yes, they were marching down the streets. I'm like, yeah, fighting back in a civilized way. They reminded me of the civil rights movement when they were actually marching in peace. Actually. But they were saying they were tired of Antifa and they wanted them to leave. And it was, thousands of them. I'm not talking a couple of hundred. Thousands of Italians. I thought it was awesome. I was thinking, gosh, was that Milano? What city was that? All I saw of the video, it was a very short, almost TikTok length video, but I could understand enough Italian. I thought that was awesome. I think we need to form something like that. I think we could do that. I think, we had the boat parades for Trump this summer. We had the boat parades for Trump. We should do something like that. Organize something like that. We should tell Black Lives Matter and Antifa to get the hell out of our country. If they don't like a constitutional America, they can leave. They can go. Go to one of these countries that they love their method of government so much. Try Venezuela. I hear they're losing a lot of their workforce. They're all walking over here. But I think they should leave. I think treason. I think we should start accusing, trying, and convicting people for treason. We can probably start with Joe Biden. That laptop's still there. Almost everybody's seen it. Even I've seen it. Who can deny it? But that's okay with the Democrats. That's okay with the mainstream media that covered for him during the election. They didn't put that on their channels. But I saw it. Everybody on Fox saw it. They can't claim to be dumb. How long can they pretend to be ignorant? Oh, we don't know. Oh, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So what? He was with a 14-year-old girl. It's fine. It's fine. So what? That he got millions and millions of dollars from Ukraine and from China in the form of diamonds and things like that. So he could get it through without having to claim it. It's fine. It's nothing. There's nothing there. Just know they're there. That's how the media is treating this whole thing with Hunter Biden. Where the heck is Hunter, by the way? Where is he? The son that Joe's so proud of and said, my son did nothing wrong. His son's a pervert. A bona fide pervert. I can't even, dance around that and try to come up with a colloquial way of saying he's a perv. Good grief. It's time we call a spade a spade. Okay, Joe Biden cheats. He's a bumbling idiot. He doesn't care about this country. He's protecting his son, and so is the media, who's run by the Democratic Party. There. I said it. So, thanks for listening. I love y'all. I'm sorry the country's going down the tubes, but it ain't my fault. I voted for Trump. Who will we vote for this time? And does it even matter? Because I'm wondering, I'm not going to vote if we're going to use the same machines. I mean, what's the point? If they're going to use the same machines, I want to be assured that we have a whole new machine system, right? Think about it. Would you go use the same system that flipped votes in the middle of the night? Would you? I want to be assured. And that's why all of these states, including Texas, are having voter law changes to stiffen it. They're calling them Jim Crow. Oh, they use so many tag words. Jim Crow. That just brings up all these memories of blacks not being allowed to go places in separate water faucets and things like that. I'm thinking that, since they want to do segregation like they're doing now with the critical race theory, let's do separate water fountains, one for Democrats and one for Republicans, because I don't really want to drink from the same one. I'm sorry. I've had it with Democrats at this point. I'm done. Done. Yes, done with the Democrats because they're corrupt as hell, and I can't take it anymore. I'd like to. I want to believe that we're strong. I know that we're strong. I don't run into the wimps that I see on TV. So maybe I should stop watching TV. Maybe that's the thing. But I need to watch TV to catch up on all the corruption. So, anyways, I just feel that there's more of us than them, but they're getting more time on the media. You know, they're canceling us. I mean, if I post a really bad meme, it's not even bad. I made a joke about Joe Biden, and this was the joke. I'll tell you the joke that got me banned from Facebook for, I forget if it was 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks. It was a while back, and it was a joke. I said, "Oh, have you ever walked into the room and forgotten what you went in there for, and then you walked out so you could remember, and then you walked back in?" And you thought, "Oh my gosh, I must be losing it." No, you're not. I said, I said, "You're not losing it. You were having a Joe Biden moment." I thought it was a funny meme. I thought it was funny. No curse words, nothing. I got banned for 2 weeks, I think it was. I forget. I've been banned so many times. There were so many, I can't count anymore. But most all of my friends are jailbirds from Facebook because they're limiting our speech. They don't want us to connect with one another. It really bothered them that when we were on shutdown, everybody separated from each other. That was like a Democrat's dream. Keep conservatives away from each other so they don't talk. Because if they talk, they might get together and like scheme to like legally elect a president. We might scheme to do something legal like that. So I just found it odd. I've been in there so many times, and so many people have. It's no shame involved at all. We're all jailbirds in Facebook world or Twitter. And, you know, you might say, "Well, Kathy, don't do Facebook." Well, you know what? I have a podcast. I have no other way of getting the word out about my show except through social media. Unless I put a billboard out there. Now, that's an idea, but that must cost a fortune. But a billboard, wouldn't that be something? Nah, too expensive. Oh, what shall we do, America? Maybe we can pool our resources. Maybe we could do that. Maybe we could organize like the Italians, and we can have a march, and we can get in the streets, and we say we're tired of critical race theory, Black Lives Matter. Well, they're almost done anyway, since the woman got caught buying $1 million houses, and none of her chapters got any of the money they collected from all of these industries. Millions and millions of dollars they collected for Black Lives Matter because it was such a cool cause. And now you got Coca-Cola saying, "Be less white" to their employees. Be less white. What the hell? What is that? How do you be less white? I mean, how do you be? Why not just say be more black? Is that what they're saying? And what about the brown and the yellow people? What about them? And the red people? What is it? Always black and white? What the heck? We've got a whole bunch of people in this country. Really, that critical race theory forgets that. And then one other thing that I was thinking about with that critical race theory was this. Because I knew 10 years ago that they were going to come for the white guys. You know, I'm married to a white guy. And I said, they're going to come for you, honey. You realize that. The ultimate goal for all of this stuff that they're pulling with the race. Because you see, the Democrats have nothing if they don't have race. If we stop talking about race, what would they have? Nothing. They got to give everybody money, spend, tax and spend, and race. That's all they got. That's all they ever had. Because they started out as the Klan, you know. They started the Klan. But they want you to forget that. But the whole thing is, what would we do? Good grief. You know who they're going for next. It'll be light-skinned black people, because they're already talking about the different levels of colorism. Well, we black people know that. You know, we know that in our families. There's colorism. We know that. There's light-skinned people and dark-skinned people. And, you know, I noticed it big time because I'm from the South. And in the South, I'm a brown-skinned girl. I'm in the middle, you know. And so when I went up north, the black people there were saying, "You're so light skinned." I'm like, "I'm not the light skin. I'm the brown skin." Because see, where I'm from, my family, we were from Louisiana. I'm from Texas, but we're from Louisiana based, and most everybody's brown mixed with something, French or Irish, and so it's odd to me. They're coming for them next because there has to be a hierarchy for them. They do that now. Hierarchy of oppression. They have a whole new identity called intersectionalism. I first heard about it on an ad for, I think, the Army it was, and they had this woman who was they have so many different words, and some of it has to do with oppression, and some of it has to do with sexual activity, which I don't even want to know. I really don't want to know what people do in their bedrooms. It's none of my business. It's nobody's business. So long as you're doing it with an adult, God help us. But I don't want you to be doing it anyway. But I'm just going to say, if you're not married, I don't really think anybody should be doing that. That's why we have this fatherlessness problem. They go, "Oh, I don't know. What are we going to do about the fatherlessness in this country?" How about don't do what causes making babies? How about that? What a novel idea. How about that? Close your legs. I mean, think about it. I saw a video this week on, I think it was on Fox, and they were talking about the police in New York City and how they're unable, they're basically handcuffed from doing anything by the mayor, that stupid mayor that they have there, de Blasio. And so they showed, it was the most embarrassing video for me as a woman, as a black woman. These girls twerking on the top and on the hood of this police SUV, I guess. And it was disgusting. I was so embarrassed for them, for their mothers. I was embarrassed for me because I'm thinking, oh God, I hate when black women show themselves to be that way, because I don't want anybody to think that way of me. Because I think it looks desperate. I think it looks like somebody in heat, really, it looks desperate. The most desperate thing a woman could do, I think, is to do something like twerking. That's disgusting to me. It looks like you can't find a man and you got to do that to get a guy? Dang, your intellect must be minuscule. It's embarrassing. I wonder if Kamala twerks. Anyways, I diverged. I diverged a lot. I'm so sorry about that. But anyways, we're against twerking. I can agree with everybody on that. We're all going to be against twerking forever and always. Women should never ask other women to have to put your clothes back on. Put your clothes back on and behave like a lady, and everything will be all right. When girls act like that, and I'm calling them girls because those aren't real women. Real women would never twerk, period. But when they behave like that, you got to wonder, are they lonely? Are they just desperate? I don't know. It's got to be something like that. Well, this is Kathy of kathysright.com. I hope that you'll come back. I plan on having some very interesting guests coming up, and life's going to get better. It's not always going to be as dire as it is now. It's just, my mom passed a couple weeks ago. Well, it was actually more than a couple of weeks ago now, but my mom passed, and I'm sure you've read about it or heard about it, or maybe I've already talked about it. But when my mom passed, things have been pretty sad since then. But when I look around, I'm thinking, gosh, my mom, she is so lucky. She is in heaven. She is with Jesus. They are having a party, and she's getting that big embrace from Jesus that she's wanted her whole life. I know she's there. She taught 5 children about Jesus. So I just got to wonder. I mean, she's up there with my dad. She's up there having a great time. No worries and no sick body to worry about anymore. She was imprisoned in a failing body. It can't have been comfortable for her ever. For the last 3 years, it's been hard for her. So I'm happy she's where she is. I'm happy she's with Jesus. We, however, are stuck here with Biden and Kamala. God help us. Well, this time I'm really leaving. It's Kathy of kathysright.com. I love y'all. God bless America. Bye. Thank you for listening to kathysright.com. Make sure you subscribe today. Bye.